Hello everybody, this is Robert here again with Slow Life Trading, and I got a special treat for you guys. You guys really need to check out this. You really want to finish watching this video completely. As always, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Tell people about us. We're trying to grow this channel, and then also subscribe. I really appreciate it. But today I have my buddy that I started out my mechanical career with, or at least shortly after me and him were introduced to each other. And we've been friends ever since. I wanted to be a trader. He wanted real estate. And now this guy has over 10 properties here in his hometown in Marshall, Texas. And I'm here visiting with him. And I am so proud of this dude. Man, he has 10 properties. We sitting on one of his Airbnbs now, and it is awesome. It's a 4-bedroom. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let me introduce you to him. His name is Melvin Alford. How you doing, Melvin?
Oh, good, man. Proud to have you here.
Thank you. So, how did this journey start for you?
Man, it started a long time ago, man. I've always wanted to be in real estate. Wanted to have investment properties.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always just took an interest in it and just started researching it. You know, long time ago, I used to just order stuff off the internet to tell me about how to purchase properties. I can't remember the name of the first program that I ordered.
Do you remember how much you paid for it?
Man, I think that back then they were selling those programs for maybe about $200 or $300.
Okay.
Ordered, and I used to, and it was back then it was probably about 10 or 12 DVDs or CDs. CDs that you had to listen to. I think it was CDs.
What year was this?
This had to be in early 2000.
Wow. Okay.
Early 2000. I remember I was working at NTB.
I don't know. I met you back in '96 because that's when I started working for Midas.
We were working at Midas together.
What you interested in at that time?
At that time, I was interested in. I've always been interested in real estate and rental properties. But you know, back then we just didn't have the know-how or the knowledge to.
Don't forget the money.
Right, or the money, or the money.
Man, we used to be. Well, I'm just gonna speak for me. I was so broke that I couldn't even pay attention.
That was both of us.
Yeah, I know.
That was both of us.
We raised our kids together.
Yep.
We paid child support together.
Yep.
We even got divorces together.
Yeah. We done been through it all together.
We done been through it all.
Yes.
I remember you laughed at me when I was doing that mail order thing where you buy a mail order list and you mail out these people $5 checks.
Yeah.
$5 bills.
Hey, I remember, man, we done been through so much together because you used to sit at my kitchen table and put that stuff together.
Yes.
Like I was telling, I remember, man, when you first started going through your divorce situation, you come over, bring your kids. Your kids was young then.
You know, wasn't even 1 year old.
Wasn't even 1 year old. Yeah, no. We go back a long way.
Yep. And it was my weekend.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
So, Melvin, okay, this is where I think a lot of people have a hang up.
Mm-hmm.
They read the books, they listen to the things, sometimes they even go to the seminars. But what made you brave enough to finally purchase that first property?
Even purchasing that first property was scary. In every property after that, there's always still fear.
Okay.
In purchasing the property.
So the fear don't go away?
It doesn't 100% go away. It's always going to be a little bit of fear in there. So it doesn't 100% go away. I still have, I don't know if it's fear or just that anxiety or excitement of you sitting at that closing table, closing on the property.
Because you don't just buy it cash. You got to get loans, put your name on the line, hope you can get renters and to keep paying, because otherwise you got to pay 2 rents now.
Right.
Your mortgage plus your rent.
Especially if you have a mortgage on it. If you're not paying cash for it, you got a mortgage on it. That's one of the fears is that you have this property and you got to make sure that you have a renter to get in as quick as possible, because you got 45 days for your first mortgage payment is due.
Yeah.
And so you got to make sure that it's a property that you can get somebody in there fast, and that you're going to make enough money to cover. You want to make enough money to cover that mortgage payment and make profit off of it.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the fear that's going through your mind when you're closing on it. I'm a private person, and another thing is when you're getting a loan on it, the bank wants to know everything.
I got to stop right there. Me and my brother was talking not too long ago, and we said, if I'm going to lend somebody money, I got the right to ask you questions.
Got the right to ask you questions.
And that's the bank.
That's the bank.
And they still may not lend you the money.
That's one of the fears going into it. Am I going to get approved? Yeah. Especially when you find a property that you are excited and that you really like. Is the bank going to approve me? And is this deal going to close? Because I went through trying to purchase a property and got right to the end and couldn't close the deal.
For what reason?
The bank, for whatever reason, the bank wouldn't finance it. It made my credit may have been just straddling the fence enough to where my credit wasn't good enough at the time.
Yeah.
And you have so many. You have to learn the difference between dealing with a bank and dealing with a mortgage broker.
What's the difference?
A mortgage broker is a person that is sending your information out to different banks, trying to get you approved.
Okay.
If you are lucky and fortunate enough to deal with a bank, they are the ones that saying, yes, we will do this deal. You don't have to go to anybody else.
Okay.
They are the one that's going to fund it.
They're the one with the money.
They're the ones with the money. When you're dealing with a mortgage broker, they're hoping that they can get you approved because they're getting paid commission off of that.
Now, it seemed like to me, now this is somebody that don't know Jack. It seemed like to me that it would be better to deal with a mortgage broker, because now you have more than, you said giving your information to one person,
right? And
they can see if you approve through many people.
Well, here's the problem. When I did that before, the first time I dealt with a mortgage broker, and then that mortgage broker they're going to send it out to the person that they think that they can get it approved through, but also they're looking at, can they get the most commission? Who they can get the most commission back off of?
They got a double deal they're trying to do.
Right.
Okay.
They want to get you approved, but they want who's going to give them the most kickback.
The most money.
Who's going to give them the most kickback? It's just like the same thing goes when you go buy a car. That's why car dealers like to send your thing out to the best bank that they have.
That's going to give them
the biggest kickback.
I got you. They want a win-win.
They want a win-win, right?
They want you to get your deal,
right?
But they want to also get the deal with the bank that's going to pay them the most money,
right?
Wow. Okay.
When you are fortunate enough to have a banker, build a relationship with a bank, you're going to after that first approval with that bank, the rest of them are cakewalk, because they already have your information right there.
They know you.
They know you, and they know what is you. They know you. You know them. You know what they looking for, and you just send that information to them. And most of the information they already have on file.
You just have to update it.
You just have to update it.
And you could easily just say, okay, everything is the same.
Everything is the same.
But Melvin, okay, You have 10. You don't have one.
Right.
Okay,
right.
And I'm sure you have a mortgage on some of those.
On some of them, I do have.
And you probably were you able to pay cash for some of them?
Some of them I did pay cash for.
Okay.
Yes.
If you don't mind revealing the number, what's the smallest amount that you've paid for some property?
The smallest amount that I paid, now I have bought some just raw land, nothing on it.
Okay.
Which I paid maybe for, and it's probably about a half acre, maybe $6,000 for it.
$6,000 for a whole acre?
Half an acre.
A half an acre?
Half an acre.
Wow.
I bought some with. I bought a house with a 2-bedroom house on it. I paid $10,000 for it.
For a 2-bedroom house?
For a 2-bedroom house.
How far are we from Dallas?
We're about an hour and a half from Dallas.
Is this? I mean, what kind of area is this? Is this countries, rural, city? What?
It's a small city. It's a small town.
Okay. What's the population? You know?
Population probably about. I want to say about maybe 26,000.
Okay.
Somewhere around in there.
Okay. It really is a small town.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a small town.
Wow.
Yeah.
But are the people able to pay your rent on time?
I have been fortunate enough to where all my tenants pay my rent on time.
Okay.
No issues.
Okay.
On it. So yeah, I've been fortunate. I have good tenants. And the one thing that I do is when I screen them.
Okay.
So you have to have a screening process.
Okay.
On it. And a lot of times tenants didn't understand. I'm asking you the same questions that the bank is asking me.
Yeah.
I need to know the same information that the bank, if you were going to try to apply for a loan to get a loan to purchase something. Because basically what you are doing is I'm taking a risk on letting you rent my house out.
Yeah.
If you're gonna tear my house, don't know if you're gonna tear my house out or what. I got to make sure that you're capable of making that monthly
payment
rent.
And you don't have a history of tearing up people's stuff.
Right, you don't have a history of tearing up people's house.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you develop that? Okay, I had a rental property once. Me and my wife.
Right.
We were so desperate to rent our house till we probably didn't do the proper channels of checking people out. Right? We just wanted somebody in there to start paying.
Right.
How did you develop that system of, checking people out?
Well, the one thing is about being in a small town. Everybody knows everybody.
26,000 people. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I would let people know, look, this is a small town. Everybody know everybody's business. I said, and when I go show them the house, I said, before you make it to the end of the block, I'm gonna make one phone call and I'm gonna know everything about you that I need to know.
Because, who you gonna call?
Because every small town has somebody that knows everybody.
Do you know that person?
I may know that person. What works for me is because this is my hometown.
Okay.
And so then a lot of people, I know who to call because a lot of people never moved out and they still here. Okay. And a small town is like a large version of a apartment complex.
Okay. All right.
That's all it is. Because if you've lived in that apartment complex a long time, or a small town is like a large neighborhood. If you've lived in that neighborhood a long time, your neighbors know you.
They know, especially from way back then, people used to know each other, especially in a country town.
In a country town,
yeah,
people know you. Your neighbors know you. If we lived in the same neighborhood, or your family lived in the same neighborhood for a long period of time, everybody knows you. So, but that's all it is. This is it's a small town, small community. So everybody knows. Somebody know you. Somebody know about you. They might gonna know your parents. Small towns, people gonna know your parents, your grandparents. They gonna know, oh, this person is not clean.
Don't trust this
person. They don't pay their bills on time. They keep getting their cars repoed.
So you check out their credit in two ways.
In two ways.
The street credit.
And
they real credit. Wow.
And they real credit. Yeah.
Have you had a person where the street credit was good, but the real credit was bad? Or the real credit was good, but the street credit was bad? How you go about that?
No, the one thing is I let people know, I understand that your real credit we have dents on our credit.
Okay.
And I let them know, I've been there.
Okay.
I know. I said, but the most important thing is your street credit.
That's the most important.
That's, to me, that's the most important thing, because that is going to tell who you are. Your real credit, it gives me an idea on who you are and how you may pay bills. But we all go through that problem where you know, we either had something misfortunate happen.
Yeah.
Where we had a delay in paying something.
Yeah.
Your real credit is I may be 30 days late, and they gonna put that on my credit, but it ain't gonna show. It's gonna show you were 30 days late, but it ain't gonna show for the past 10 years you've been paying on time. Because that one time you 30 days late, that hits your credit and hurts your credit.
So, okay, you know, you hear these things and that people talking about on TV, street cred. It ain't that kind of credit.
No.
It's like, is this a credit? Is this a trustworthy person?
Trustworthy person.
Honorable person.
Honorable person.
That honors their word and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Is this, you know, and people are going to know, because you said street credit, people are going to know that if this person likes to have parties all the time.
Gotcha.
You know, this person, you know, this person don't keep a job.
Okay, I got
on
you.
it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The neighborhood or the town around, somebody around there gonna know.
They know
you. Somebody know you. And that's basically what I go by, and what has been fortunate and worked for me.
I got you.
That has worked for me to make sure I've been putting the right people in my house.
Okay.
On it. I also asked them for bank statements.
Yeah.
So I look at their bank statements, because that's going to tell me whether they're paying their bills on time. On it, and that's not letting me know if they're paying their bills on time. That's going to let me know if they have a negative account.
Are they having these bounce checks?
Bounce checks, right, exactly. Yeah. If your account every month you got a negative balance,
that ain't no good.
That's not good.
That's a no-no to that person.
That's a no-no to that person.
Okay.
Because that lets me know that there's a possibility of
they ain't managing their money.
Right. You're not managing your money. You're not being able to pay the rent on time.
Okay. All right.
Because the most important thing, especially if you have a loan on that house, that they have to pay their rent on time to make sure that
you pay your mortgage on time. Okay. Wow. So that's got to be scary.
It can be.
Okay.
It can be. And a lot of times, another thing that does for me is that I put my housing on public housing.
Okay. And what does that do for you?
Public housing that's guaranteed money deposited in your bank the first of every month. Housing is going to deposit that money straight into your bank account. The tenant may have to pay a small portion of it, but the majority of the money that housing deposits in your account, most of the time, it covers the mortgage.
Okay.
So if the tenant don't have their part of it, your mortgage is still covered.
You still
pay
mortgage.
I've been fortunate enough where I've never had a tenant that couldn't pay their portion.
Now, we was talking, and you answered something for me on accident that I thought was really awesome. You said that most people think that when they getting that, what did you just call it, government assistance, whatever?
Right, on public housing.
Public housing. Right. Most people think that those people are going to tear up your house. You tell me how you approach that.
Well, the thing about it is, people that are on the housing program, housing will make them pay you for any damages that is done to your house, because if not, they will get kicked off the program. And they don't want to get kicked off the program.
That's how they pay their rent, by having that program.
That's how that being on that program helps them out, because helps them pay their rent. And they don't want to get kicked off of it, so they gonna have to they make sure, because if they just say, okay, I've had a tenant that was in one of my houses and it caused some damage to it. One of her kids friends caused damage to the house.
Okay.
And she was wondering, well, I didn't do it. Why do I have to pay for it? That's because you're responsible for the house. You leased the house.
Yeah.
So that's your responsibility. So I reported it to housing, and housing told me that I could put her out. And once I put her out, she would be kicked off the program.
Oh, when you went back and told her that.
I explained that to her, had her call housing, they told her the same thing. So she paid to have the repairs done to the house.
Okay.
Same thing happened again. I had a tenant that where they caused some plumbing issues by flushing stuff down the toilet that wasn't supposed to be down there.
Okay.
It cost me $1,000 to send a plumber out there.
Did they admit to doing that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. They admitted they always don't 100% admit to it. They tell you, well, maybe my kids did.
Oh yeah, that's their out. Right. Okay.
So.
And all of them gonna have kids that own public housing.
Most of them are going to have kids in public housing. There are some that don't have kids on it, but they can still be on housing.
Okay.
On government assisted housing.
On government assisted housing. Okay.
Right. So I told her she was going to have to pay the plumbing bill, and then, of course, she didn't make a lot of money because housing paid most of her rent.
Yeah, so that was hard on her.
But when it came to the time for her to move out, that was still on her record. Okay. She owed me money. So housing sent me, she got to sign documents. We both got to sign saying if she owes any money.
Yeah.
So when I sent her, I filled the form out. I filled out there she owed money. She couldn't go. She was trying to move to another property. She couldn't get approved for that other property
because
she paid me my money.
Wow. So it make them pay.
It makes them pay. It makes them pay on it, or they will get kicked off the program.
Or they'll be kicked off the
program. So they're not. I know somewhere there are people that are just don't care.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people do care and they don't want to get kicked off the program because they know that program helps them.
And you checking the person out too.
Right.
So
and I'm checking out too. Yeah. And it's hard for them to get on. It's hard for them to get on that program because most towns have a waiting list for them.
Yeah, they sure do.
On it. So
wow.
Yeah, I do. I also do check. Before I approve them to move in, I'm going to make a few phone calls to see who knows them and see what type of person it is. And there have been people that have made phone calls. They're like, no, don't let that person move.
And you just move on from them.
Right, and I move on from them.
Yeah. That is a good benefit from a small town.
Right, that's a good benefit.
And it's your hometown.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Now let me ask you this question here. You showed me all 10 of these properties, okay? I saw you had a 1-bedroom. I saw you had 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. What makes you determine if you're gonna buy a house? I mean, you don't have a certain. I know a lot of people say I'm not gonna buy nothing but 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Do you have anything like that you use?
I've always looked at the area and I looked at the demand. There is a huge demand for housing.
Okay.
No matter what, if it's a 1-bedroom, 2, 3, 4, because I got 4-bedroom houses.
Okay.
So I look at the demand for them, and I've always been able to, once I purchase the property and get it fixed up, I've always been able to get them filled right away because somebody is always looking for somewhere to live, to move into. A lot of people live in apartment complexes. But they're tired of the apartment complex, especially if they got young kids because their kids can't go outside.
Yeah.
So when I go look at the property, I look at how much space do they have in the yard? Can kids go out here and play?
Yeah.
Is it a safe place for kids to go out and play?
Okay.
So those are the things that I look at to determine that, okay, this would be a good property for somebody, whether they got 1 kid, 2 kids, they got room for their kids to go out in the backyard and play. And they versus where in an apartment complex, it's wide open.
Yeah. And
most time the kids are for them. A lot of apartment complexes they building these days, they don't build playgrounds in them no more.
No, they sure don't.
They build the apartment building and the parking lot.
And that's it.
And that's it.
You may have a pool. Depending on how big the complex is.
Depending on how big it is.
Wow.
So those are the things that I look at on trying to determine. And in a lot of the smaller towns, people are just, they wanting to move into a house.
Yeah, I mean, I used to rent apartments, and I couldn't afford to buy a house, but so I started renting a house. Plus, rental house was cheaper back then than an apartment.
Right.
Is it the same way now?
in some cases, but in the thing is the apartments, depending on the area, may be cheaper than the rental house. Because the if you have a rental house as the owner, it's up to you to decide how much rent you want for the house.
Yeah.
So, but one guideline that I go by is the Fair Housing Act.
Okay, what does it say?
And basically what that Fair Housing Act says is that if I'm renting a house to someone that's on housing,
yes,
I can't, and then versus someone that's not. I can't rent this house to someone on housing, a 3-bedroom house. If I'm renting it and I got that on housing, and I got another 3-bedroom house over here,
yeah,
I have to rent that same amount, that same 3-bedroom house to somebody that's not on housing for the same amount of money that I'm renting on housing. Housing pays a lot more money than
what you could just get it for on the market.
Get it for on the market.
Okay.
Right.
So, for instance, I noticed out here you can live very affordable. So let's just say you could get a house out here on the streets for say $1,400 a month. You can't go try to do that same thing on public housing and rent it for $1,700 a month.
No, I can't have my house. I can't rent a house out for $1,400 over here a month to a person that's not on housing.
Yeah,
and then go rent a house for $1,700 a month because they're on housing.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you can't just up the price just because housing will pay more.
Right, because no, you can't do that. Because that's where the Fair Housing Act
comes in. It's got to be the same price.
It's got to be
if it's equal. If it's equal,
right.
The housing is okay.
Right.
Okay. So what made you? I'm jumping. Okay. But what made you get into Airbnb?
Man, I do a lot of little side hustles.
Okay, give me an example.
And one of the side hustles is, I had an apartment complex in Dallas that was upgrading all of their appliances to stainless steel. Okay. So they were taking all the white appliances out, which was still in great shape. Some of the stuff looked brand new.
Okay.
And just for one, and how I found out about them is because I was on OfferUp and I needed a stove for one of my houses.
Yeah.
So, and I saw where they sold the stove. So I went and bought the stove. And then after that, the lady kept contacting me, hey, we have another stove for sale. We have a refrigerator for sale. So what I started doing is when they took their appliances out, they started calling me to
every time
somebody move out an apartment, I go buy the stove, refrigerator, and microwave.
What about dishwasher?
And dishwasher.
Wow.
And the dishwasher, and I get this at a very inexpensive price.
Wow.
Enough to where I knew there was a market for this. I could turn around and sell this stuff
right away and
double my money.
And you still in a good market price.
I'm still in a good market price. Just say on a refrigerator, I would pay $50 for it.
Okay.
These refrigerators were nice with ice maker. They were Kenmore and Whirlpool refrigerators. All the appliances were Kenmore and Whirlpool.
But they don't have to have. They didn't even have to have ice makers and stuff.
Right.
To be able to make a profit on something you just bought for $50.
Right. So I would turn around and just sell it for $100.
Oh, you were still giving them away.
I was still giving them away.
Yeah, you were. You weren't trying to make the world on them.
Right. I was still giving them away. So
wow.
What was the question? I done lost my train of thought.
I don't remember what my question was.
But when I started buying those, that was one of my side hustles. On buying those, it got to where I was putting.
How did you get on Airbnb?
I was okay. Yeah, that's right. I was buying those to put in my houses. Now I didn't have to go buy them nowhere else. So I advertised on OfferUp. I was selling these refrigerators, and a lady came in to buy some. She said she's buying them to put in her Airbnb.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, that's a thought. I need to try Airbnb.
Yeah.
I've lived in Airbnbs before. I've done them before, but I've never thought about putting a house on Airbnb.
Okay, good question. This is a good question I got to ask you. My sister, I told her about Airbnb and how she could do it. She always said, but I don't have the right neighborhood. It's just not no fancy neighborhood. I'm not near Six Flags. I'm not near this. I'm not near that. I told her, We have stayed in Airbnbs that wasn't near anything. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
So you out here in Marshall, Texas, ain't nothing here. The casino is what? Another, I don't know, hour away?
No, casino probably a good 30 minutes or so away.
Okay, 30 minutes. Some people say that's not close. To me, that seems pretty close.
Right.
But other than the casino, what else is out here?
And that's the thing I was thinking, because she came all the way from Shreveport where the casino was.
Okay, which is 30 minutes away.
Yeah, her house is near the casino.
Yeah.
I said, there's nothing out here. How could I advertise an Airbnb? What are people going to come to Marshall for?
Did you ask her this, or you thinking this to yourself?
I'm thinking this to myself.
Okay.
What is people going to come to Marshall for? It's a small town. There's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
I had no idea people can come to Marshall for graduations.
Okay.
You got 2 colleges here.
Ah.
You got graduation.
Yeah.
You got people may come in for high school graduation.
Okay.
College graduation. Family reunions.
Yep. And this is a great family reunion place. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna do a video of this place so you guys can see it, because I'm a person that have to stay busy. I can sit here and watch TV and relax.
Relax, yes.
It's so peaceful and quiet here. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can have family reunions, funerals, graduations. People are always coming into town, and they want that comfort of staying in a house versus staying in a hotel.
Now, is it significantly cheaper than a hotel?
No.
It's not?
If you compare it to staying one night.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, because you can go get a hotel, you can go to the Hampton Inn, and that may cost you $100.
Okay.
For that Hampton Inn, for that one night. One night.
And this is...
But that's for 2 people can sleep in that room.
In a double bed or something like that. Or 2 beds or something like that. This is 4 bedrooms.
This is 4 bedrooms.
With a yard.
Full
kitchen, everything.
Full kitchen.
That's already got all your cooking pots, pans, everything.
Everything you need. It's 4 bedrooms. So if you break it down, it is cheaper because you can accommodate more people if you got more people in here. So if you break it down, yes, it is cheaper.
And more comfortable.
More comfortable.
Yeah.
On it.
So in a hotel, you got restaurants close by. Are restaurants fairly close by here?
They're within driving distance. You can probably 5-10 minutes away.
Oh, that's close by. Same thing with a hotel. Yeah.
On it. So it's more. You're more comfortable, and they like that feel like at home atmosphere. Yeah. Versus if you're in a hotel, you feel like you closed in 4 small walls, and you can't move around. You can't walk around in a hotel like you can do in a house.
No, you can't.
On it, especially if you got 2 or 3 people in that room. Yeah. On it.
And then you have a cable TV. He got a big old 75-inch TV in the 70 or 75. I don't know which one it is. In the bedroom, in the living room, and he has television in all 4 bedrooms.
All 4 bedrooms.
All 4 bedrooms have their own television with, if it's not cable, he got Roku. He got cable.
Every room has cable.
Okay.
Internet, Wi-Fi. Every room has cable. They're all smart TVs, so exactly you can Netflix, Roku, whatever you want to do on them. Yeah. On it, yes.
And his internet is good.
Yes.
Because I use it.
Yes. Yes.
Man.
Yes.
So, okay. I hate to wrap this up, but I don't want to make it where it's too long. So let me ask this question here. Okay, you got these 10 properties. You said it was fearful. You got one of them on Airbnb. I know you got 2 of them that are 5 acres each.
Yes.
That you said people do family reunions on one of them. But this is the question I asked. You said you was fearful, and you never really get over that fearful. So what made you go over the hump? What made you get over the hump and get past that fear? Because that's what a lot of people are struggling with. Getting past that fear, because they let that fear control them and stop them.
In a long time, and a lot of things I've done in life, fear has controlled and stopped me. But you just have to move forward with it and get over that fear. One of my fears is I'm afraid of heights.
Okay.
So I started a new company that calls for me to climb up on the roof of buildings.
Okay.
The first time I tried to climb on that roof of the building, the guy was training me to climb on the roof. I got to the top of the ladder, and I said, I can't do it. I came back down.
to step over off
To
the
step
ladder into the
over
building.
off the
That could
ladder
be
on
kind of
top of the
scary.
roof.
That could be kind of scary. Yeah.
It's going through my mind. Okay, I done made it to the top, but then I got to come back down this ladder somehow, and that's the fear. That was another fear, getting back on that ladder to come back down. We have to not let that fear control us.
Wow.
And try to do whatever it takes to overcome that fear.
Wow.
Don't let it get the best of you. So, and I kept just saying, look, I'm going up on this roof. I'm going up on this roof.
Did you go back up and go on at that same time?
Nope. I did it by myself.
Wait a minute, Mel. You said you had somebody to train you. Somebody trained you to get on the roof?
Somebody was there with me, training me how to do the job that I had to do.
Okay. Wow.
He was training me how to do the job. I have to go on these properties and inspect the properties, and part of the inspection is inspecting the roof.
And he was training you
how to do the inspection.
But you didn't want to get on the roof.
I didn't want to get on the roof. I said, man, I can't go on that roof. I'm afraid of heights.
So you actually wasted that guy's time?
It wasn't a waste of time because he was doing the inspection anyway.
Okay.
He was just showing me how to do the inspection. He had to do the inspection.
Oh, what?
So
was it embarrassing to you?
It was very embarrassing. Very embarrassing that I couldn't climb on this roof. I'm a grown man. Wow. And I'm afraid to get on this roof.
How tall was the building? How many stories?
It was a 1-story building.
You was scared, and it was a flat roof.
Flat roof.
And you were scared to get on a flat roof building.
I'm scared because I'm scared of heights.
Wow.
I'm scared of heights.
You know, I'm an idiot. I get on anything.
Yeah. So one day I just say, you know what? This is part of my job. I got to go up and inspect this roof. So I climbed up that ladder and stepped out on the roof, and that was the most exciting thing that I felt like I've done. I've overaccomplished that fear.
Hey,
I didn't let it defeat me.
I think that's awesome. I really do. In the movie Rudy, he made a big movie about his life in Rudy, and all he did was go to college. Yeah. That ain't no big deal, but it was a big deal to him.
It was a big
deal. You getting on that roof was a big deal to you.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and I accomplished that.
Yeah.
And the same thing when it comes to making that first leap to purchase your property. It is a huge fear.
Wow.
Because your fear is, am I going to keep this property? Once I get it, am I going to keep a renter in it? Or the renter's going to tear it up? But once you get that first property under your belt, the rest of them, there's still fear there,
but it's not as much. I did it once, I could do it again.
It's taking that first step. You just have to motivate yourself to take that first step and not let the fear control you.
One thing that I say, and this has worked for me, I've done some stuff that nobody would do, okay? But the one thing that I use, people, is what would I do if I wasn't afraid?
Right.
And if I would do it, if I wasn't afraid, sometimes I'd go head on and do it. Now, has it always worked out? Heck no.
No.
Has all your properties worked out?
No. There's going to be some that don't work out. And one thing you just have to go in, okay, that one wasn't meant for me. But another one will come along that is meant for me. I always believe what's meant for me is for me.
Have you ever had anyone to destroy any one of your property or do bad damage?
No, I have no one that totally done damage that that would cause me to evict them or anything like that. I haven't had anyone that done something that's just out of control.
That's your checking out process that helps you with that deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to tell somebody that's just starting out trying to do this, in a short phrase or a short whatever, what would you say to them to help them get over the hump and get going?
Man, that's tough. That's tough.
Okay. What would you tell the young Melvin that was trying to get this going? What would you tell him?
And here's what I tell people that I know, and especially from this town here.
Okay.
There's always opportunity out there, and housing, to me, there's a need, there's a demand for it. And I know in every community, I know that here in this small town, there's another town somewhere where there's a demand for housing. So I would tell people to check into it because someone's always looking for somewhere to stay.
People gotta have a place to stay.
People gotta have a place to stay.
Good or bad economy.
Good or bad economy, they have to have somewhere to stay. And most people are going to, because they know they need somewhere to stay.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pay their rent on time.
Rent and car payments.
Rent and car payments, because they need a car to get around and get to work or whatever. So I tell people, find that niche and move forward on it.
Okay.
Because there is an opportunity out there for it that you can capitalize on.
Wow. That's all right, man. That is all right. Well, guys, Melvin here. How long you been doing this real estate stuff?
Man, I've been doing this real estate. I tried it back in I tried it back in 2005. It didn't work out because that's when I went through a divorce. I had one house then.
Okay.
Went through a divorce, and I really got back into it. Probably about I want to say for the past 8 years.
Okay.
I started out with one property, which was a house that I grew up in. My mom left to me.
Okay.
On it. So
you took that and ran with it.
I took that and ran with it, and I just started working on making sure my credit was good enough to get approved to get other houses.
And I will tell you guys, this is the guy that helped me get into the trucking business too. He got into it and he told me everything I needed to do to get into it. And I was afraid, but I wanted the success too. I kind of just overlooked the possibility of failing. And we got into it, and it was fun, challenging, very challenging, but it was fun. And it got me out of my job.
Yes. And
that right there in itself was one of the best things that could ever happen to me.
Yes.
The fear of leaving that job.
Yeah.
Well, okay, man, well, we're going to end this right here, but I want to say, do you want to say anything to people in case they want to rent your property? Do you want to give them how contact with you, or you want me to just put it at the bottom of the link?
I don't have a link or anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Yes, I do. We'll put it at the bottom of the link. We'll put my my Airbnb.
Okay.
Airbnb.
Okay. We'll put the Airbnb down there at the bottom of his link. So if you guys want to rent his place here in Marshall, and we're about to give you a tour of it, you want a place to relax that's not expensive, and it's the comfort of home in the country. I'm a city boy, and I didn't realize how relaxing it is when you move to a small town. It's like you step back in time, okay? And it just allows you to decompress and slow down and relax. You're doing the same thing you did at home. I'm watching a Western movie here with him. Same stuff I try to do at home, but for some reason it seems too boring. But here is perfect. But anyway, we're going to put that at the bottom of the link, so if you want to rent his place, you can do it. And again, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. We're trying to bring this stuff, more of this kind of stuff, to help people reach their dreams and goals. But that's all I have for you guys for now. So I'm going to throw it out with my peace out. And always keep it slow. We're going to do a tour of his house, and we're going to let you guys go. Holler at you later. Bye-bye.